I am Alejandra Keles. I live in Buenos Aires, Argentina. I want to tell you that this book touches the depths of my soul, and for this reason, guided by the Holy Spirit, I will turn it into an audiobook, a summary of Luigi Maria Monti's life, his personality, his mission, and his dedication marked a before and after in my life. Since my conversion, I realized that my mission is very similar to his. You may wonder, how could a married woman from a beautiful family see that spirit? It was because all my life I considered that service was what important. I was always the engine that drives me to happiness. Once, when I read a quote of Mother Teresa, where it ended that the service is love, I asked myself why I start with the last part and not the first. The ways of God leads you to write life in crooked lines. You try to follow that your dream, but He shapes it in His own way, not yours. So says Mother Teresa, the fruit of silence is prayer. The fruit of prayer is faith. The fruit of faith is love. The fruit of love is service. And the fruit of service is peace. When I used to do acts of kindness, I came home with a lot of peace. It was one of the activities that I did which I could not explain with words what I felt. For the reason it took me many years of life to understand what lifted me up. I remember going to a spiritual retreat, casually starting to search for the meaning of my life at night, and as I could not enter into communion with God, I decided to take the phrases of Mother Teresa with me. I was involved with her in action. I believed that it was the most important thing. Then God started writing in my crooked lines so I could understand what steps I was missing. I hope you don't take so long, because sometimes I feel that I will not reach the silence to fully connect with God. But by getting involved as a missionary and through Blessed Luigi Maria Monti, I began to discover God's message. Phrased by Luigi Maria Monti, purity was the future of his soul. He would go into his tiny room and pray for a good death, for himself and for his son. He was a teacher, a master, and companion educator, and father. When I was in the management of the secondary school, I liked that the students and then young people who kept joining in my life to see me the same way they saw Luigi. They saw him as a strong and sensitive father whose mere presence could move them to tears. My shadow was what others would say, what I heard, and what I thought internally was an attitude of arrogance. Today, I can say that I have succeeded because the young saw in me an example of coherence in what I said and how I behaved with respect and love. He never confused his own person with his responsibility. I never confuse my own person with my responsibility. He wanted perfect equality in every situation. I wanted perfect equality in every situation. He never allowed any special treatment. I never allowed any special treatment. Humility was a virtue which typified him and was inseparable from him. Humility was a virtue which typified me and was inseparable from me. Finally, I want to thank God for helping me to find